So there's a new creative hub that just popped up on Sunset Boulevard, and believe me, it's making some waves. It's promising to be a real game changer for podcasters, filmmakers, you name it, even comedians. So what exactly is this Hollywood Podcast Basecamp? And, could it be the new blueprint for independent creators? Let's break it all down.
All right, so check out the description. A beautiful, intimate, boutique movie theater podcast space. Now, that's not just some fancy marketing talk, right? It feels like a direct answer to the whole cold, expensive studio system we're all used to. The words that really jump out at me are intimate and boutique. That tells you everything you need to know. They're not just building a place to make content. They're building a space for people to actually connect. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at what this new hub is all about. Then we'll take a peek inside the Basecamp itself, see what's on the schedule and what the perks are. We'll even get into the business side of things. And finally, we'll try to figure out if this is Hollywood's next big thing.
All right, first up, a new Hollywood hub. So let's get right into it. What is this place and who's pulling the strings?
Okay, so the official name is the Hollywood Podcast Basecamp. And the location? I mean, come on, you can't get more classic Hollywood than this. It's right there at Vivoli Pizzeria on Sunset. Just being next to a spot like that puts it smack dab in the middle of all the action.
And the guy behind it all, the founder, is Stephen E. Kimbrough. Now, this is a really key piece of the puzzle. See, he's already got the Team Comedy USA Film Festival and the Todd Brother Nation Network under his belt. And why does that matter? Well, it's crucial, because it means the Basecamp isn't just starting from zero. It's plugging right into a creative community that already exists.
So we've met the team, but what about the actual space? Let's head inside the Basecamp.
Okay, for all you creators out there, this is the part you've been waiting for. The space is basically turnkey. You walk in and you've got this big 8x12 movie screen, all the tables and chairs you need, and a full-on lights and sound setup. It's basically a ready-to-go studio for live podcasts, screenings, you name it.
And this number right here, 40, that is so important. A capacity of just 40 people, that takes us right back to that boutique vibe we were talking about. See, this isn't about cramming 100 people into a giant room. It's about creating these really intimate events where the audience feels like they're actually a part of the show.
All right, so they've got this cool space, but what's actually going to happen there? Let's talk about the lineup of events.
So it looks like their plan is built on three main pillars. First, you've got live and recorded podcasts. Then it's a spot for film screenings and premieres. And third, it's a place for creators to learn with hands-on workshops. It's really designed to be this all-in-one spot for creatives.
And if you're wondering what that actually looks like in practice, well, get this. We're talking movie premieres, dinner and a movie nights, even red carpet screenings. But then on the other side, you've got workshops for stand-up comedy, podcasting, and even film challenges. It's this awesome mix of fun events and real skill building. Now, a huge piece of this whole thing is the community aspect. So let's talk about the perks for the team. If you're part of this, what's in it for you?
So here's the deal. These exclusive benefits are specifically for people who are already members or vendors with the Team Comedy USA Film Festival. So if you're already in that world, this new Basecamp basically becomes your own private clubhouse, complete with some really sweet benefits.
And listen, these are not small perks we're talking about. You could get discounted or maybe even free access to events. That's a huge deal, but it gets even better. They're also talking about discounted on-screen ads and even product placement in the podcast they record there. This is all about giving real, actual value back to the community.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit and get into the business breakdown. It's time to follow the money and see how this whole thing actually works.
All right, before we get into the nitty-gritty numbers, you got to understand their main business model, which is all about revenue sharing. What does that mean? It's actually super simple. It just means when the Basecamp partners up with a creator on a project, they both split the money that comes in.
And for co-productions, it honestly couldn't be any clearer. It is a straight-up 50-50 split. The partner gets half, the Basecamp gets half. And that is a really big deal, you know? It gets rid of all those confusing contracts and formulas. It makes the creator and the venue true equal partners. You share the risk and you share the reward. Simple as that.
Their plan for growing the business is also super transparent. It's all built around this idea of a closer. And a closer is basically anyone who brings in new business. The incentive? A nice, clean 20% commission on everything. Doesn't matter if it's sponsorships, memberships, workshops, anything. It's a really smart way to get the whole community involved in helping the place succeed.
Okay, so we've looked at the space, the events, the perks, and even how the money works. So what's the final takeaway? Is this Hollywood's next big thing? All right, so let's recap real quick. What we have here is a new multi-purpose creator space right in the heart of Hollywood. It's a hub for podcasting, film, and comedy. The whole model is built on giving perks and benefits to its members, and it's all backed by a super transparent revenue share and commission plan. Which, of course, leads us to the final big question.
So is this the future? Is this hybrid model, part venue, part community, the path forward for independent creators in Hollywood? I mean, think about it. In an industry that's so dominated by massive studios, could a smaller, community-focused spot like this, part studio, part venue, part clubhouse, could that actually be the blueprint for how indie creators not only survive, but actually thrive? It is definitely something to think about.